What's good, YouTube? Spinks for Integrity. I'm sure you salute to this video. So big shouts out to you. If you ain't following Spinks Integrity, you're missing out. Great channel, great advice, great content, awesome guy, great channel all around. Beautiful family. So with that being said, let me just say this. If you want to live better, if you want to feel better spiritually and mentally, you want to sleep comfortable, get up out of the neighborhood that you grew up in. If you grew up in one of them neighborhoods where the riffraff was always going on, it was always going on, and you was young, you couldn't do nothing about leaving because you was staying at home with your parents, your grandparents, or whoever you was shacked up with coming up in one of them neighborhoods where the rah-rah always went down, and you had no peace of mind. Now that you heard this video, do your best, plan for an escape. Get up out of there. I can hear some of y'all right now, oh, leaving ain't gonna make it no better. What? I came from a neighborhood that was beautiful, full of beautiful people. Full of beautiful people, and still got beautiful people there. But me personally, I wanted to be able to go to sleep at night and not have to worry about my door getting kicked in, or have to worry about pulling out my Roscoe, laying somebody down because they broke up in there, because I would have done that. So I never left my hometown because of fear. Let's get that one straight. I left so my kids could have better, so they could do better, so they could play in peace, they can have fun, they could be outside, ain't got to worry about gunshots going off. What's that, Dad? What's that? They shooting a movie? Is this Boys in the Hood? Is this Menace to Society? No, son, this is real life. Man, I wonder if that hurt him. Yes, it did. Now he's gone. You ain't got to experience that. Violence happens everywhere, but let's be real. If you want to do better, you want to feel better, you want to live comfortable, leave. Leave. In some cases, y'all, that's what it takes. So why not leave before something happens? For example, you living in a city. Spinks, you can honor this. You living in a city where there's no grocery stores. You got to go to 2 cities to go shopping. You live in a city where there's no pharmacy. You live in a city where people are afraid to go in and get their prescription because there's people ganged up outside. Whether they doing anything or not, this is not a club. They all congregated outside the building. You got people that really got medication to pick up, and people, and this goes on everywhere, ganged up outside, waiting, asking for change. Let me borrow a quarter. Let me borrow 50 cents. They ask 20 people, they got their money. That's beside the point. But you're scaring away the business. There's communities out here that people want these new businesses, these shopping centers in their communities, but business owners are not going to put them there because of the riffraff and the loitering and the drugs and the violence and the nonsense that's going on. So they're not going to bring the business there. They're going to last a hot 6 months, and then they're going to shut it down. And y'all going to think that it was something wrong with the building and it was something wrong. No. It was the evil that men do, that they carry on, that chase them out of there. So if you know that these types of things go on in the community, why stay? Everybody say, well, we need a grocery store, we need this and we need that, we need that. They're not going to put it there because of what's going on. It's not going to last. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Back in the day in the city that I grew up in, it was nothing but, it was 2 grocery stores that I can remember. All right. We had a lot of convenience stores. We had a lot of Merchandise stores. You can go get you had a clothing store. One sold everything you could ever need in your house. One sold all the clothes you could need. Go to school. You ain't got to go nowhere to go shopping. You could have went to this one store, got your shoes and your clothes. And listen, they survived as long as they could. But after a while, evil took over. Not caring took over. Disrespect took over. It ain't my business. We posting up anyway. So now they gonna move out anyway. And y'all thought they lost money. They weren't making enough. They weren't. No, people was bringing it. Out of town people was coming here. It was the hangout. It was the nonsense. It was the riffraff. How long does the store owner got to put up with? They popping so big they can't get a business or a shirt bought or shoes or a purse because you got goons hanging out outside no matter what nationality you are. Because goons come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. So it didn't matter about what they look like. It's just that this is the evil that was chasing away the business. Police departments gonna only do what they could do. They can't make y'all want to be civilized. They can only patrol. Y'all want to act right, do right, put you in the back of the car, peace out. We ain't talking about police brutality, none of that. We talking about the police got a job to do. They gonna arrest you for whatever reason, boom, boom, they gone. But they're not there to help you make your mind up. Like, they didn't tell you to sell dope in front of the store. They didn't tell you to sit down with a 16-ounce can of Colt 45 in front of their store with a lawn chair like you live there, like you pay rent here. You get what I'm saying? Don't hate your law enforcement. So if you notice that nothing is changing in the city that you living in, but you got the best house, you got a beautiful home, and your little area is cool, but when you need to go get and you go, it ain't there. Your medicine ain't there, your clothes ain't there, your shoes ain't there. The school is great, but I mean, just a lot of things are not the way they could be because of what these business owners are seeing. And then the city workers ain't doing nothing. They ain't cutting grass on the sidewalk. The grass is coming. I know how you cut grass on the sidewalk. They got weed whackers. They got lawnmowers. They got arms that come out to cut hillsides when they ride it with the rider to cut the grass. It's like this coming out of a crack of a sidewalk that became a forest. But they ain't even doing that. They rather ride around in a truck, collect city money that taxpayers is paying them to do the job, and they ain't even doing the job. They just getting their check and going home. Laziness kicked in. So all in all, when you see laziness and not caring going on in the city that you living in, why you stand there? Where is the growth? What is going to be the outcome of this? It's already showing, and y'all living in a lot of cities like that. Why stay there? If you see growth happening, and cleanliness being carried out, okay, cool. If you want to help practice that, I practiced that for years. I used to cut lots of homes they tore down just to make the house I stayed in look right, to match mine. You understand? To match the place I was living in. I kept abandoned lots cut. But no, it still didn't make it no better because people was acting stupid, throwing 40 bottles, beer bottles, and all that other stuff. Oh, they cutting down abandoned buildings. Everything is going to be coming up now. No, they only tore the buildings down so they could see what y'all doing. The buildings was only torn down so they could watch the drug dealers. Not to clean up the community. Yes, they were clean up. They tore the houses down and buried the rubble in the ground. You cleaning up? Let's talk about contamination, bacteria, disease, and all of that. They didn't take out the bad, they just buried it and let the grass grow over it. Don't get me started. You know what they was doing? They was tearing down these houses, taking that topsoil, all that soil from these nice hoods I lived in, taking that out in them rich neighborhoods and giving that soil to them. Now you looking at their neighborhoods, their yards is pretty, grass green. Can't be mad at them. Y'all ain't want to live right, act right, so they took y'all soil. Bye-bye. They ain't worried about you having a convenience store where you need toothpaste, deodorant, soap, shoes, etc. That's y'all. Y'all don't want that? Cool. We got ours. Don't bring that over here. They don't like us. They racist. They this, they that. Y'all, that does go on, but I done been all around. Let me tell y'all, we got to do better. as a people if we want better. We can't be going around complaining. Live, love, laugh, and smile. Spinks with integrity. Tell me what you think about this video. TNT Life, tell me what you think about this video. This kind of video is on y'all radar. So TNT Life, Spinks with integrity. Come on, bruh. You already know. Let me know your take on this video. Go subscribe to Spinks Integrity. Definitely go subscribe to TNT Life. Let's do better, y'all. Let's spread this message. We need to do better if we want to see and get better. If we want the finer and better things in our communities. If not, people are going to leave the communities. I left. I'm not going to stay where it's not comfortable. A lot of people was comfortable, and I can't knock that. I ain't see no progress. None. I had to go. That's why I left my hometown. I love my hometown. Don't get me wrong. I grew up in that town. Nothing against the people of the town. Let's get that correct. We ain't talking about the people of the town. I'm talking about the nonsense that goes on in these communities. Why stay if you know ain't nothing ever going to change? We want change, but it still ain't changed. I seen it. Whew, I was on the first flight. Love y'all. Stay blessed.